Hi friends, good evening and welcome. Welcome to my talk. I am Odete. Before I forget, my talks are now on Sundays at 9 p.m. every other Sunday. As I said, welcome. Tonight I would like to talk about a new title, and it is Science and You. Please do not allow the word science to distract you or to cause you any fears, because I myself never liked science, and I sometimes even disliked scientists. But that was, of course, before I started to write my book, or the title of which is You Can Remember Love, Contemplations on Science and Spirituality. Remember that scientists are on the same boat that we are. They're all learning from their experiences. Some of them like to go inward and assimilate what they see outside, and yet have an inner life of themselves, by themselves. Others don't. In my book, I quote several scientists. I would like to read to you a couple of sentences here before I go on. As I said, the title for today is Science and You. But I want you to realize that you are an artist of life. And so I'm going to read here on page 60 that, quote, "We are artists of life. We write our own history. All of us, doctors, nurses, housewives, secretaries, taxi drivers, teachers, masons, carpenters, judges, and so on, we can become happier and more peaceful. We have the potential to sculpture our lives in a loving way." End quote. I am so glad that I'm finally quoting from my own book, because I don't know if you used to watch me before. I used to talk about A Course in Miracles. I had that show entitled Healing and A Course in Miracles that was on cable for over 10 years. And I used to quote from the Course in Miracles. Now that I wrote my book, I'm quoting from my own book. And the title of my shows is Life Appreciation. Now, why am I referring to the fact that you are an artist? We are all artists of life. And what am I talking about when I say science and you, and then I switch to an artist? Well, a few weeks ago, I read an article in the London Times entitled Eureka! Scientists break the speed of light. Wow! Unquote. Wow! I said, this is right up my alley. I liked the article so much that I got in touch with a newspaper in England, and I wrote my own article with their permission. I quoted from that article, and I have it on my website. If anyone wants a copy of my article on my website, get in touch with me and I will send it to you. It's only 2 pages. But if you have your own computer, you can go to my website and, of course, print it. And the title of the website is www.portugueseprincess.com, which will be showing up on the screen at the end of my talk. happens here? I started by asking, is there anything new under the sun? And why do I ask this? I ask this very simply because scientists, like most of us, when we discover something, we think it's new and we use the word discover. But in reality, there is nothing new under the sun because we know deep down, we all know already all there is to know, but we block it. Interesting enough, there are a few 4 or 5 items here in this article that are very much what I talk about in my book, and I try and make it as in simple terms. I want to inform you, I already said this before, but I want to make sure that I explain again that I am not a scientist, but I'm curious about life. Therefore, I started reading all these books from Einstein about himself, other scientists such as David Bohm, and now these articles are just up my alley, as I said. I try and make it as simple as possible. I did not study science. My major is in liberal arts. So what I present in my book is just from the point of view of life. Modern physics from the point of view of life itself. Very simple to understand. What they say in this article is that scientists break the speed of light. Now, is that new? The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second, and of course this has been known for since the beginning of the century, since Einstein. But now they have gone much further than that, 300 times faster than that. Scientists. And that's what this article is all about. So now they're saying that apparently then they concluded that light seems to arrive at its destination before it is sent. Now, can anyone try and understand this? Light seems to arrive at, I am quoting, paraphrasing what's in the article. This is scientific work, and I'm talking about it without any formulas or anything at all, because that's not what I want you to understand. And I'm doing this because I also want to understand. Light, according to modern science, seems now to have the possibility of arriving at its destination before it is sent. And then the conclusion is that apparently it is in 2 places at the same time. How interesting. How interesting. Because in my book, I talk about the fact, first of all, that the light that we see out there with our eyes and without the eyes, that exists, because there is light that exists without the potential of our eyes seeing it. That light is in everywhere and is in all of us, within all of us. Therefore, that light is not just in 2 places, but everywhere. If it's in all of us, if it's in everything, that light is everywhere. Now, some of you may say, this is very philosophical. Of course it is. Forget about these complicated words, philosophical and philosophy. Just think in simple terms about what you are and what you can do with your mind. Now, one of the complicated things, ways of talking about modern physics is quantum physics. And I just heard a very interesting person who has done a lot of work with the Indians in South America, in the Amazon, that area, Brazil, the Amazon River. And he's a physicist, and he went there. They was thinking he was going to learn from them, but he was going to tell them, about quantum physics and so on. What is quantum physics? The simple explanation is that in any quantity, in anything, in a small piece of matter, piece of my finger, piece of my brain, a piece of my head, a piece of this pen, everywhere, there is energy, there is light. Well, he thought he was going to teach them this great lesson about this great energy everywhere. And he started talking to those people, the natives, the Indians, and he said, oh, well, I'm going to talk to you about quantum physics. And these people a couple of them turned to him and said, oh, yeah. We eat it for breakfast every morning. Quote, unquote. Friends, you want a simple explanation of what physics is? Just remember, you eat quantum physics for breakfast every morning. If you don't have breakfast, you eat it lunch and dinner. Or you eat it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we spent so many centuries studying these things, and then this individual never left the rainforest or the suburbs of the rainforest says, oh yeah, we eat it for breakfast every morning. Friends, light is not in two places. Light is everywhere because it is in your mind, in my mind, in everyone's mind. And there is no time, no limit, no distance. Of course, this article says that too. Apparently there is no time and space either. We all know already that since the beginning of last century, scientists were heading towards those discoveries, so to speak. So, is there anything new under the sun? Yes and no. For us, who think that all there is out there, there is always, every day, something new under the sun. But in truth, there isn't. When we say there is something new under the sun every day, we are limiting our thoughts to what the eyes can see. We are limiting our reality. We are constantly bombarding ourselves with the idea that this is all there is. Our reality is out there. When in truth, the only reality there is, you cannot see with the human eyes because it is hiding here in your heart.